Hi, I'm Lindsay Bishop, the Training and Media Associate at Westchester University, and this is Keeping Your Cool in Tough Situations. As summer temperatures rise, we find ways to cool down, right? The same should apply for all heated situations. When faced with a tough situation, it's important to assess the situation and identify ways to handle it in order to avoid overheating and acting in ways that negatively impact you and those around you. In this webinar, you'll learn how to assess tough situations and apply strategies to keep your cool. We'll look at how to identify what is and isn't in your control, common communication styles we encounter and best ways to handle them, and ways to improve emotional intelligence so that you can keep your cool when faced with a tough situation. Many situations we encounter are completely out of our control, and though they're not something we can control, we still worry, fret, get upset, get angry, get frustrated. We spend a lot of time dwelling on the situation and what we could do or could have done, and we let that stress conquer our entire day. We might huff and puff and complain to others, which not only takes up their time listening to the complaint, but could have a negative impact on their mood as well. Other times, we may have control over a situation, but choose to let it go or push it away because we fear being confrontational, wrong, or uncomfortable. Rather than wasting your energy focusing on the negatives and the what-ifs of tough situations, it's important to identify the things that are in your control and those that aren't in order to save yourself and sometimes others unnecessary time and stress. Let's look at an example of a tough situation you might have at the office. You find that you're constantly interrupted during meetings. You have a lot of ideas to contribute to the team, but before you can finish discussing your ideas, someone starts talking over you. This situation may make you feel angry, frustrated, annoyed, uncomfortable, or even unvalued. In your mind, you want to call the person out, but you worry that that would be perceived wrong by others, so you remain quiet. In the end, your ideas never come to fruition, and you leave the meeting feeling upset and underappreciated. So what can you do about it? In any tough situation, always start by asking yourself, what is in my control in this situation? Think about your actions, behaviors, attitudes, and communication style. Are you speaking clearly? Do you tend to ramble? Did you do your research? Do you speak with confidence? Are you making eye contact as you're speaking? When you start by looking at your own actions and behaviors, you may be able to identify whether you are unknowingly part of the problem and what you can do to control the situation. Maybe you do tend to ramble and you're not getting your point across. Maybe your voice is too low or you're looking down while talking, which could be perceived by others as you're nervous or you're not confident about your ideas. In this case, there are things within your control that you can work on so others find value in your ideas. You can take steps to learn how to make changes to your communication style, use eye contact while speaking, and come prepared with talking points to avoid rambling. If you find your actions and behaviors are not the issue, you can politely confront the person during the meeting by saying, "Excuse me, I wasn't finished and I would really like to be heard because I think my idea is very important." If this is a reoccurring issue, you could also confront the person after the meeting by explaining the issue and that you would really like to see some more respect going forward. Again, working on your actions and confronting the person rather than just letting it slide are things that are in your control. Now, if the person does not respond well to your talk and continues to talk over you after you've confronted them, that is not in your control. You can't control others' actions or behaviors if they aren't willing to listen or make an effort to work on themselves. And in that case, it's important to identify that you cannot control that and not dwell on the situation or let it stop you from putting your ideas out there. Though you can't control others' actions or behaviors, you can learn to communicate with them more effectively by identifying their communication style and learning how to best handle them. There are many different types of people we encounter, and each of them have a unique communication style that should be handled in different ways in order to avoid escalating tough situations. Once you can identify a person's communication style based on their actions and behaviors, you can begin to understand how to work with them best based on their style. So let's take a look at 5 of the most common ones we face on a daily basis. First, the nice guy. This person doesn't know how to disagree or say no, even if they want to. They may make commitments they later regret and become stressed with all the extra work they take on. They may also lead you to believe they are satisfied with something when they're not, because they're too afraid to hurt your feelings or feel uncomfortable confronting you. So how should we handle them? Never take their kindness for granted. If you see them getting stressed about work, offer to help them or direct them to somebody else that could help. Give them a few options and ask questions so they feel they have a choice or a say in the situation. Don't pressure them into doing anything or saying anything. Give them a reasonable amount of time to think about the situation and allow them to approach you in a way that makes them most comfortable. Next, the quiet type. This person can be hard to figure out. They're usually very vague and don't tell you exactly what they want or need. They don't voice their opinions or ideas and avoid confrontation at all costs. So with the quiet type, avoid getting frustrated. If they won't tell you exactly what they want or need, find out by asking questions until you understand what it is that will make them happy. It's also important to follow up with them and make sure they're satisfied, because it's likely they won't speak up for themselves if they're not. The yappy one. This is the person that just wants to talk, and they'll find a way to make conversation about anything and everything. They may stop by your desk to chat regularly and linger for much longer than you anticipated or wanted. This person just wants to connect with you, and if you engage with them, they're happy to stick around and elaborate. On the other hand, if you continuously dismiss them, they might try even harder to get your attention. It's important to show this person that you are interested in what they have to say and enjoy the connection, but also let them know that you have other obligations and commitments and can't spend all afternoon chatting. If you have a moment, take time to focus on them and engage with them by acknowledging their story before you get back to work. If you don't have the time, tell them that you're busy and don't have time to chat but would love to catch up at another time. Next is the ticking time bomb. This person has a short fuse and an explosive temperament. When something doesn't go their way, they get aggravated and take out their anger on whoever or whatever is in front of them. They are very easily offended and will get very defensive when they feel threatened. With this person, never get loud or aggressive back. Matching their aggressiveness will only make the situation worse. It's also important, however, not to wave the white flag. Both attack and surrender can fuel their flames. First, try to calm them down. Then consider the situation. If they're angry because of something you did, own up to it, apologize, and offer to help find a solution. If the situation was out of your hands, acknowledge the situation, let them know you understand why they are upset, and offer to help resolve the issue. Remember to be respectful and don't let hurtful words affect your decisions. Lastly, the know-it-all. This person will make it known that they know everything about anything. They think of themselves as the go-to person with all the right opinions, answers, and connections. Know-it-alls aren't usually open to new ideas and dismiss input from others. They tend to monopolize conversations with their my way or the highway attitude. When interacting with this person, it's important not to take offense by their words or actions. Oftentimes, their knowledge sharing may make you feel like they are belittling you, but that's not their intention at all. They may simply be excited about sharing their ideas or experiences and eager to talk about it. Instead, listen to what they're saying. Use it as a jumping point to engage with them in conversation. If it feels as though they are telling you that their way is the only way, ask questions and share ways you've successfully handled similar situations by providing facts and examples. Though these strategies can help you effectively communicate with these personality types, you also have to be aware of yours and others' emotions in tough situations and learn to manage them in ways that best fit the situation. Learning not to get angry, frustrated, or stressed out with others or yourself in any tough situation is all part of your ability to display emotional intelligence. Our emotions drive our behavior and can significantly impact those around us, whether positively or negatively. Think about a time when your emotions took over your thoughts. Pause the video and reflect on that situation. What did you do? What emotions came over you? What was the outcome? And what could you have done differently to manage your emotions? Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, understand, and manage your emotions and the emotions of others. There are 4 parts to emotional intelligence. First is emotional awareness, both self-awareness and social awareness. Self-awareness is being able to recognize your own feelings. Social awareness is identifying the feelings of others. Then there's self-regulation, which is the ability to control your feelings in order to react appropriately. Most importantly, avoid reacting inappropriately. And lastly, relationship management. This is the ability to recognize and understand the emotions of others and respond appropriately. This also involves influencing the behaviors of others, being able to cheer up or calm someone down in a tough situation. The ability to harness emotions and apply them to tasks like thinking and problem solving is key to successfully building positive relationships and engaging with one another, both in and out of the workplace. When you're in a tough situation, it's important to be able to identify, understand, and manage emotions, as well as the emotions of others, in order to avoid negatively impacting each other and those around us. Let's take a look at some of the attributes of people that display high and low emotional intelligence. Pause the video and circle the attributes you feel describe you best. Once you identify these attributes, take a look at the attributes that fall in the low emotional intelligence category. Think about ways you can develop those attributes in order to display more emotional intelligence. By developing traits of emotional intelligence, we lower the risk of our emotions taking over our brain, which is essential to keeping cool in tough situations. So in review, we took a look at ways to identify what is and isn't in your control. Always start by asking yourself, what is in my control in this situation? Think about your actions, behaviors, attitudes, and communication style, and ways you might be able to improve them during a tough situation. We took a look at 5 common communication styles and ways to handle them in order to communicate effectively and avoid escalating tough situations. And we also looked at ways to improve emotional intelligence in order to become more aware of yours and others' emotions in tough situations and manage them in ways that best fit the situation. Tough situations are often unavoidable, but if we take a moment to assess the situation and identify ways to make it better, we can turn obstacles into opportunities. As always, we ask that you think about what you're going to start, stop, and continue to do in order to keep your cool during tough situations. Thanks for watching Keeping Your Cool in Tough Situations. The Office of Training and Organizational Development is committed to helping you reach your fullest potential. If you'd like more resources to help keep your cool in tough situations, or would like to discuss any setbacks or successes, don't hesitate to reach out.